Hi, everyone. Welcome to my poster session, Not Everyone Has Access, How Teachers' Computer Science Goals Relate to Equity. This is based on my dissertation research at UCLA, where I studied elementary school computer science implementation. I'm Melissa. I'm a professional learning manager at code.org. I'm a former teacher and dog mom. For my dissertation, I explored the following research questions. How do elementary computer science teachers think about equity in relation to their goals for the computer science instruction? And what strategies do elementary computer science teachers articulate to make their practice more equitable? So before diving into my own research, I did a literature review where in previous research, it's been shown that there's insufficient graduates to fill roles that are needed in computer science and STEM fields. White and Asian males dominate the workforce. There's a need for professionally and personally authentic computing experiences, and there's a lack of research on personally authentic computing experience at the elementary school level. And there's a huge importance of culturally relevant pedagogy and computing in computer science education. So with that understanding, I created a study where I used an opportunity sample and a snowball sample where I interviewed 20 participants over Zoom. This was during the COVID pandemic across the United States. They were all elementary school teachers, and they participated in 2 interviews that were 45 minutes to 60 minutes long. Before they participated in the interview, teachers submitted a lesson plan or a unit of plans so that we could talk about during the interview, and they were able to reflect. They were asked to annotate any thoughts that came to mind after our interview, and I prompted them with questions. After all the interviews were completed, I based my coding and my data analysis on the KPOR Center's Culturally Responsive and Sustaining Computer Science Education Framework. And I went through and coded each of the transcripts for different buckets of themes when it came to how teachers answered the questions in my interviews. So with that, the findings were fascinating. Essentially, I broke up the data into 3 different buckets: how teachers viewed equity, what their goals were for computer science instruction, and then the strategies that they articulated by teachers. And in this beautiful slide, you can see that this is how each respondent, if they had mentioned one of these themes and one of these codes that I had coded for, there was a check mark underneath the respondents column. So this is a breakdown of how many respondents spoke to each of the particular codes and themes that I had researched for. So, conclusions from my study. How do elementary school computer science teachers think about equity in relation to their goals for computer science instructions? So all teachers in the study expressed their views as equity as access to opportunities. Some teachers did talk about differentiation as a way to increase equity, or how they thought about equity. But what's interesting about this is that in the NASEM report, NASEM actually identifies other forms of equity in computer science education, and the 2 that were not mentioned by any of the participants were equity as expanding what constitutes computer science in the form of integrating alternative cultural perspectives, and equity as including computer science as part of justice movements. So those were 2 clear gaps in what NASEM defines as equity in computer science education versus how teachers are thinking about it in their own practice. For research question number 2, I asked, what strategies do elementary computer science teachers articulate to make their practice more equitable? And so overall, the strategies provided by teachers supported their goals for instruction, and the most common strategies that they articulated was providing access to opportunity empowering students to use CS for social change, promoting positive ID with computer science, and increasing academic achievements. So based on this, some recommendations based off my study was include that we should foster more conversations around views on equity. We can increase training, research, and support around what constitutes computer science in the form of integrating alternative cultural perspectives and including computer science as part of justice movements, increasing academic achievement, training and support for teachers about how to integrate computer science to increase academic achievement, and also addressing racism in computer science. A lot of teachers articulated that they were hesitant to discuss racism formally in their classroom because of today's political climate. And so training and support and implementing these types of conversations in a way that feels safe for educators would be incredibly important. So check out my links in the video link. I have a summary and a write-up if you'd like to learn more, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or would like to learn more. Thanks so much for stopping by.